Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to Talking Town's Extra Time. That's right, the show on Sunday, they got so big, it spawned its little brother, and it's now got an Extra Time show. And do not adjust your sets, because it may be a Monday, but we do have the Tuesday team of Steve and Neil joining us to give their delightful insights into the world of ITFC, all things McKenna. Are we bringing back Fergie ball? That's what I want to know. Man United were famous for passing it around and looking world class in the 90s. Well, Saturday we did as much as we had to do in looking every part and a 90s Fergie side. We were extremely good. Gov, if we do start playing McKenna ball, does that mean Neil gets a new intro? Well, for Neil to get a new intro, he's first got to say, of course we're going to dominate somebody. We're marvelous. But that we'll get into that as we go. First of all, an apology from myself to you, the wonderful community, because yesterday's show sadly appears to have technical difficulties. Not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. I believe it to be a I believe it to be a YouTube issue. Because I physically can't do anything with it. So my sincerest apologies to you. I will continue to work on it. It's a really good show. It was incredibly fun to record, produce live. For those that caught it live, you know, me and Mike Brown had, two stags in the coaching world. I was right, of course, but my apologies. Hopefully tonight's show will go a lot better. But as always, it is a live show. There is a live chat. There is a live link. You can support the show through YouTube Super Chats and through Ko-Fi. But more importantly than all of that, there is a live chat and a live link for you to get involved and have your say. That's right. You sat right there eating that pot noodle. You think I didn't see you? I did. All right. You can get on this show as well. So we have got Matt Stannard. Evening all. Hope everyone's good and had a good Monday. Again, Matt Stannard, pleased with the result. Harry Butcher can't stop watching the highlights and still welcome in Emerson Fairweather. Good evening all. How are you after that fine victory? Let's hope this is finally the beginning of a new dawn at long last for us suffering fans. Welcome in Adam. Welcome in Terry. We've got about the Neil Mowles intro. EJ Norris. Good evening everyone. I love my weekend. I hope that's the first of many. As do I, EJ. As do I, because it surely sets the tone for the weekend. It makes you feel so much better. The beer tastes great. The takeaway tastes sweeter, or whatever you've cooked tastes that little bit better. The film you watch is that much better. Everything is more rosy and crystal coloured when your team wins. Safety guy says, you've been in that front room for some days now, Gov. Time to move about. Yeah, that's what that must be obeyed is starting to say. She's starting to say, well, we're going to move. But I don't want to move, safety guy. I've got the 30-inch TV sat right there. Got my football manager here. Like, this is a great little setup. I don't want to move up to an office where I've got no TV and I can't catch up on my soaps. Anyway, let's go about bringing somebody in. Let's go about bringing. You've actually, as you've mentioned his intro, he's not been on in a long time. We normally introduce him second on the F1 show, which I'm going to go to now to nick the intro. But he is, of course, Mr. Positivity, Neil Mowles.
Wake up to the, wow. Wake up to the money, turn me right on. You look like you got dressed with no lights on. A Superman that spin like a cyclone. Fit check, spin like a cyclone. Wake up to the money, turn me right on.
Yeah, but we're crap. We're not going to dominate any team.
That is a lie, Mr. Neil Mowles, because Kieran McKenna is here and we are now dominating at least Gillingham. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, not too shabby.
Good. We're looking forward to changing that intro, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. He says we've had so many false dawns, haven't we? Because we've had times where we've looked good and we thought, oh, we might have to change it. Particularly after a Tuesday night like Wickham, we watched the game together on a Tuesday, did the match day ticket. Does it feel a bit more like something a bit more substance might be coming now with McKenna? What do you feel?
Yeah, I didn't really know what he's going to be like, but since he's been here, he seems to have had a plan, and yeah, if the last game was anything to go by, it should be good.
Absolutely. Well, and we'll get a lot more into that. We've got some stats. We've got Sam Morsy, absolutely transformed under McKenna. We've got Matt Penny. We'll take a look at some stats in regards to him, who had his best game arguably for a while, if not since he joined in a blue and white shirt. The return of the Prediction League is here, and obviously Christian Wharton news as well. But you've not been on for a while now. A lot has happened. As a Town fan, as we sit here on the Monday the 10th of January, 20-9, what's the temperature test of you being a fan right now? You know, where are you in your fanship? Are you optimistic? Are you still being pessimistic with a little bit of it could be changing? You know, you've gone through a lot. You've seen a lot of false dawns. Where are you as a fan right now?
Well, the main thing was with McKenna being here, I'm glad we didn't do the usual merry-go-round managers and we picked out someone different. We've taken a big dive into that pool and let's see where it takes us.
Were you surprised?
I was, but to a degree. With this current ownership, things seem to be slightly different. So you can be slightly surprised, but on the other hand, it's more in keeping with what we expect from them.
Absolutely. Ben
Morsy, and as for looking forward to the season, if we continue as we did last game, I think we can be more positive. That was a great display, and a lot of the results went our way, so things look a little bit better now than they did prior to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Moore, evening all. Hope all is well. Shit that courage yet again. Glad to be back to the Talking Town family. Ben, you are with the community now. Do not worry about the stresses of college. Mike D, how's the skincare routine, Gov? Yeah, so I put some moisturiser on today. Spot's still fucking there, but luckily the microphone can just about cover it if I position it well enough. There you go. Oh no, it slipped. See, Mike, now what you've done. Look, and did I get my pizza on Sunday? No, I didn't. No, she cooked enchiladas in the end, which were nice. I'm not complaining. But it weren't a pizza, was it, Mike? Let's be honest. Ben, only two coaches worth being here. Go, that's me and you. Fishman going to hold his under-12s trophy to him, but I've got to respect Fishman as a coach. Been talking to him all day today. Big respect to the Fisherman. Not going to have a bad word said about him. Latin don't. That was the best Town performance for years. It's amazing how McKenna has transformed them. We look a totally different team. And Lee Anderson says, evening all. Colin, I used to play cricket with the bloke from Lowestoft you spoke to on Saturday. Yes. Talking of Colin Plum on a Saturday, I have something to show you, my friends, because I came across somebody. You may recognize him on a video, courtesy of Alex Griffin. This is Alex Griffin's channel. Big up Griffin, big friend of the podcast. We love you, Griff. But if I'm not mistaken, Neil, is that not Colin Plumstead there?
It looks a bit like him, yeah.
It certainly is. And I want to hear what Alex and Colin are talking about.
I don't, honestly, no. All right, one more question, mate. You know what I'm going to ask? What's your favourite Ipswich chant? We're on the march with Robson's army. We're all going to Wembley, and we'll really shake them up when we won the FA Cup, because Ipswich are the greatest football team. Legend.
Colin Plum on Alex Griffin's channel there. We've all got to have a drink now because he mentioned Bobby Robson. Neil, it is 2022, and he's asked what his favourite chant is, and he's still got Robson in there. How impressed are you with that level of just ability to get Bobby Robson into anything?
Well, he's still one of the greatest we've had. So, if not the greatest we've had, we haven't really had a lot to go off recently. So that's how easy it is to keep chirping back.
It's very, very true. And we do love how Colin can do it. Mr. Ipswich Town with €5. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Afternoon, lads, donation time. Thanks again for putting me on the list. Hope the wins can keep continuing. Absolutely. We love that. But Alex does ask a great question there, Neil. Before I bring Steve in, Steve, get ready because the same question's coming your way. What is your favourite Ipswich Town chant?
Yeah, I don't really know which one's my favourite.
You're a North Stander, Neil. You've got some expectation on you here. The chat is literally thinking this guy's in the North Stand. He's in the cop of Ipswich Town. He's in the Portman Road North Stand. He needs to deliver now with some blood, some guts, some thunder, some passion, some singing. What is it going to be, Neil? Don't let him down.
Do you know the last time I was actually in there?
Well, when was the last time you were in there?
A little while ago.
Fucking disgraceful. Stephen Thomson, what is your favourite Ipswich Town chant?
I was thinking about it and I can't actually think of one.
Fuck's sake, you two. Literally, we've got a North Stander here who spends more time out of the place than in it. And we've got this guy down here.
Do you know how often I get to go to Portman Road?
Damn, mate, you can still sing a song. Hang on, you mean to tell me you don't sit and watch iFollow singing chants? Like I lit flares off in my front room.
Yeah.
Like literally, I lit flares
Total
off.
disregard for the dog and everyone, just flares.
Yeah, fuck it, man. The dog's joining me. He's waving the scarf around, you know, as they do. I'm letting the flares off. The real vuvuzelas are going off. The baby's crying upstairs because we're too loud. But fuck it, man. You know, you got to be an ultra, home, away, and in your own gaff. Have you not?
Yeah, I go as far as wearing the shirt. There you go. That'll
Absolutely.
do. When I'm watching iFollow. I've got my retro shirts. That'll do.
Yeah, that's very true. Leighton Durrant said we only donate when Mike is on. Leighton, I hope he comes on then, to be honest with you. How's that sofa not burnt, Gov? Well, it's great what you can do with a throw, Lloyd. Let's be honest. Just chuck it over the top of it. Alex Wilson, Finidi drives a big tractor. He comes from Africa as Alex Wilson's. What's the favourite cobble chant, Gov? I could do a joke here. Are we still alive? But what's our... It's very difficult because at the moment we're getting into the world of, you know, Ali all the bloody time, which really winds me up. Safety guy says too old for the North Stand. If the youngsters, pipe and slippers viewing now. Absolutely, pipe and slippers in the cobble stand. Safety guy, come and join us. A great stand in English football. Full stop. Not going to argue. Not going to hear about it against it. Mike D says turn the fucking speaker off. It's the favourite cobble chart. It certainly is. It certainly is. You don't hear the good ones no more. My old man said to be a Norwich fan. Fuck, James, no other word. Emerson, this is a personal favourite of mine. We're all following Ipswich over land and sea. We hate Norwich. We're all following the Ipswich onto victory. All together now. We
don't actually pull that one out very often, do we?
I think one of my favourites is still Boncho. Great shift, but that's just an epic use of a popular song. That really is. Anyway, moving it on. Colin Plum, we love you. And when I saw you on Alex Griffin's show, I was like, Alex, can I just show you some on my show? He was like, of course you can. And I was like, Lloyd says the president, Norwich. Don't worry, Norwich, you're coming up later on. Lee Brown says, get that cobble stand knocked down. Lee, Lee, that's terrible, man. You don't knock down heritage. You preserve it and everything else. Steve, been a while since you were on the show. How are you as a fan? Were you surprised when McKenna took charge, or we appointed McKenna?
I was very surprised because I was thinking they were going to go for a tried and tested sort of old head. There was obviously a lot of talk about people like Neil Warnock coming in and sort of ahead in the clouds, maybe with people like Eddie Howe and that sort of thing before he was Newcastle. So I was surprised. I thought they would go for maybe not Neil Warnock, but someone who was tried and tested. They've been there, they've done that, but it's not really worked for us in the past, has it? Lambert, no. Cook. Pleasantly surprised.
We've tried all sorts and none of it really worked.
And now we've gone for a student, by all accounts, of the game. Somebody who's described as a teacher, but is always teaching, always thinking, always implementing. And yes, Saturday we were playing like I say, Sir Alex Ferguson's 90's Man United, pass and move, two touch. At times it looked as if it was illegal. At times, it looked as if we had 15 players on the football field, and Gillingham literally could not handle us. A big
I loved
part.
the organisation for how we closed down. We pressed. For once, the press actually worked, and if a ball came free, if one of our players was there to go, thank you very much, and that just doesn't happen enough.
Absolutely,
so that was excellent.
And he's done that in only 10 days. But news come out this morning regarding Christian Wharton. So I think we should probably start there. Christian Wharton, as we understand it, as it's been posted on the internet, has been recalled by Brighton. There is a 7-day grace period, however, so he still could play against Bolton. But is this another twist in the game of cat and mouse of transfers? Because he's been recalled unless a suitable offer comes in, Neil. We know Town are interested in making him a permanent signing. What's your feeling as a fan when you hear Wharton's gone back, may or may not play against Bolton? Are you thinking pursue it? What are you thinking?
Well, I know on one of the shows you did recently, one of the guys mentioned that the other keeper we got at the start of the season, Haladki, he played really well, and he didn't really realise he was in goal at the time. He presumed it was Bolton. So, and he was unlucky to really lose his place in the team. So, are we going to pursue Bolton, or are we going to stick with Haladki, or are we going to potentially see out with Haladki to the end of the season, hoping it all goes well and we can potentially set our sights a little bit higher?
Well, it's understood that Town are pursuing a transfer move for Christian Wharton, Neil. But is it as Rob Smith says, Brighton just trying to force our hand in this? Is it another twist in the game of cat and mouse of the transfer saga?
Yeah, if they're trying to twist the hand and they really want him gone, doesn't that tell you something?
Well, he's out of contract, Steve, in the summer. He's their third choice. We do know that one of their keepers has got an injury. Is it a simple case of a team trying to force through a transfer? Her, look, we want to try and get this, sewn up as quick as we can. You're not offering what we think is acceptable, so I tell you what, we'll recall him. We have an injury anyway, so we can come back as cover. And if you want to make a suitable offer or a correct offer, then please do so. But in the meantime, we'll have him back. Is it Brighton trying to really turn the screw on Ashton here, or is it something a bit deeper? Somebody else may be interested.
It sounds like it, because they know, obviously they'll know how well he's been doing at Town. They'll know how popular he is with the club, with the fans, and how well he has been playing, and that our equivalents or our alternatives of bloody Thomas Holy and Vaclav Haladki. I'm assuming Holy is not even going to get a look in, even if Wharton does go back to Brighton. I think it could be. I mean, I'd love to see him stay. It would be great to see him still here for the Bolton game if there is that 7-day. Well, you said there is that 7-day grace period.
Should be here, yeah.
The good thing is now we've got the money to do that. Previous seasons, if a team had said, right, okay, we'll have so and so back, then we've got nothing. We can't say, no, hang on a minute. Whereas now we could at least say, well, we could be in some kind of negotiation, which is good.
Yeah,
because if obviously if he goes back, we've got Haladki and Holy. Holy's Holy. Haladki, he did okay, to be fair. The game he stepped in for Walton, because Walton had COVID, didn't he? I think.
Yes, he did. Apparently so. Yeah,
and he did okay. So maybe we could see a better version of Haladki now. There's new coaching staff in and new procedures. I don't know, but it would be nice to see Walton stay.
Yeah. Has it got the potential, Steve, to rumble all window? And if it does, could that adversely affect us? Is Walton pivotal to what we want to achieve this year, or do you feel actually, like Neil mentioned, somebody else on a show recently said, Haladki should be given an opportunity, and we should run with Haladki?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think it would be pivotal. I mean, it'd be great to see him stay because he has been the better out of the 3 keepers we've used this year. Again, it's not setting the bar very high, but this could be. I mean, that go that Haladki had a couple of weeks ago could be just what he needs. I think it has got the potential to rumble on all transfer window because there are other teams interested in him as well. In Championship level. So it's got the potential to go on, and you're going to have these teams betting against each other. But I think it may not be the worst thing to give. It won't be the end of the world if he does go back. I think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to give Hladky another run.
Yeah,
there's potential with him, and I think now we've got Rene Gilmartin and a better coaching team that we could see a better version of Hladky come out if we do need to use him as first choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to put in the chat that this is your club, your platform, and as always, you can set the agenda. So if there's something you want to talk about regards to your football team that we don't cover, then please either come on the show and to start the conversation, or start it in the chat.
Martin, as a little bit of a keeper yourself, what are your thoughts on Walton and Hladky?
I like how you said a little bit of a keeper yourself, cheeky fuck. Saved your ass.
That's because you're also a defender.
Saved your ass many a time. Fucking hell, man. I've seen you play in front, in the back three, a back four, a back.
I was midfielder back then, so I weren't your biggest issue.
You were supposed to be playing centre after. That was the biggest issue. Yeah, no. In all seriousness, joking aside, yeah, I'm not as sold on Walton as some are. I have to be.
I'm similar to you then.
He's okay. Don't get me wrong. I've not yet seen anything catastrophic. Well, not catastrophic. Anything out of this world, outrageously good. He's been solid. I think the issue with Ipswich Town, Neil, is the bar has been set so low with goalkeepers that somebody that is basically consistently okay is good. Full stop. Because we've had keepers that have been so up and down in form and ability.
I guess at the end of the day, though, do we really want to splash a large portion of the budget on what is considered? Do you want a man that could either set up or score 30, 40 goals a season, or do you want someone in between the sticks for the major part of your budget? Would you really splash the cash on the keeper when you can have someone that will do the job, but that's potentially it?
Well, that's it. But then you've got safety guys, Steve. We need a stable, reliable long-term keeper. The foundation of any side could do worse than Walton. He's only 26, believe it or not. He looks like he could be a lot older.
He is. I thought he was actually older than Hladky, but isn't he the oldest out of our three keepers?
He is, but only at Hladky's in his early 30s.
The oldest. That's what I meant. Yeah, he's the youngest out of all of them.
Yeah. That's the hair.
Baby face.
That's the hair. Trust me.
Baby face, bless him.
As somebody who has the same hairstyle as Hladky, almost similar, it's all in the hair. It's all in the hair.
But we've not had a solid, stable goalkeeper probably since Bart was at his best, going back a few years now. And his last season was a bit hit and miss. I know he was obviously in and out with Gherkin, but
yeah,
we've not had a solid keeper really since prime Bart. Because Norris was always hit and miss, mostly miss. Holy's been mostly miss. Who else we have last year? Cornell again.
Oh Christ.
Yeah, mostly miss.
In the Championship now, would you believe?
Yeah, I can't believe that. Considering most of our players either went to League One or League Two, he's got himself a good one there.
Yeah.
But would you rather sign someone like, obviously, if you got the choice of two, would you rather sign Bon, who could potentially get you a goal a game, or Walton? It's a tricky one.
You can have both. But as somebody
we've got
said
the budget to do both now.
Yeah, but as somebody said earlier in the chat, welcome in, by the way, Mark Tuxford. Nice to have you with us. We still have to work within the financial constraints by the EFL, which is the Salary Cap Management Protocol, SCMP. So the salary could be the issue.
That's sort of, the thing. We could have the budget, but if you can do it without needing to spend it all, surely that's better running of the club. Yeah. Just choose your men better. It's one thing throwing it everywhere, but if you can run the club better and get the men in to do the job without spending it all, surely that's just the better way of doing it.
Yeah. That said, though, I'm just thinking out now about Walton. He's only 26, so if you were going to stop and say, well, okay, you know what, I don't know if he's the right guy for the job. We'll look in the summer. I trust the dashboard that Ashton has. We trust the stats, the analytical departments, or lack of recruitment room, as Paul Cook claims. You would probably be looking at a similar type of value for a goalkeeper, wouldn't you? In that age, $500,000, maybe even rising to $1 million. That's not outrageous in 2022 for a goalkeeper of 26 years of age, is it? $500,000,
no.
$1 million.
there is also, we've had other seasons where even yourself has mentioned, do we need 3 keepers at this club?
Well, no, we don't.
If we're looking yet again at another keeper, potentially trying to get one slightly better than what we have, then do we need Walton? Because why would you have Hladky, Walton, and then looking at another, having them all tied down onto contracts and having them here for 5 minutes, trying to ship them on? This just sounds ridiculous.
It's a good point. Holy, I believe, is out of contract at the end of this year, so that would reduce it down to 2. But you are right. You've still got Hladky you brought in last summer. Does the club of our stature, Steve, that is now, as we sit here in January, out of all cups, does it need 3 goalkeepers? Because, you can only play one of them.
Yeah. No, if we were still in the cup, maybe, or a cup, because you think, you've got your league keeper, which should ideally be Walton. You've got the cup keeper, which would be Hladky. And then you've got someone to sort of back up in terms of injury. Obviously, Holy. But yeah, now we're out of all cups.
That should be a young player, shouldn't it? That should be an up-and-coming...
Like previous years, it could have been an academy player. It could have been like Harry Wright, someone like that, Pershback when we had him. Or someone homegrown. But I think now, we can get away with 2. Seeing as we're out of all of the cups, if they stay as they are, it's hard to... Holy's not going to get back into a matchday squad. And it's hard to see Hladky getting the say over Walton if it stays as is.
That said, Walton is currently the better goalkeeper out of the 3, or certainly of what we've seen. As Lloyd says, if Walton improves, you could easily get 10 years out of him. Lloyd's to get some good homegrown keeper, work them in, try to make them long term. Mark Tuxford's highlight of an incredible away day on Saturday was a pre-match view of the legends that are Colin the Goat and Mark Rattle, fine young men following the town away from home. I hope they bought you the point there, Mark. Safety guy, Walton in a poor start, I should remember. Yeah, well, we can't get any worse than 5-0 debuts, can you? Or letting in 5, on a debut. Many of them wanted him out straight away. Think he's done enough to make up for that and held his own since. Yes, his best game, without a doubt, was Charlton. Without a shadow of a doubt. Kept us in that game, kept it at 2-0. Chris Boyd, if we lose, or 1-0, if we lose Walton, that severely impacts our admittedly small playoff chances this season. Bond has scored once in 11 games, whilst injury-prone Norwood is on fire. It's a dilemma. Spaceship, has Walton gone back? Yes, he has. Well, they've recalled him, Spaceship, with a 7-day grace period, so he could still play against Bolton. But as it stands, that would be his last game unless a deal, or a suitable offer, as I read it, could be made. Colin, Christian Walton returning back to Brighton as a suitable offer. Is this cat and mouse? Is this trickery in the transfer market? How do you see it?
Obviously, Brighton. Obviously. Wait a sec, Matt.
Oh, I'll come back to you. Do not worry. I'll come back to you. I'll go to a fine young coach, Mr. Ben Moore. Ben, you've got Neil and Steve there, particularly saying, do you need 3 goalkeepers at this level? Should we be looking to move players on before bringing them in? Where are you on the Christian Warren? Is it cat and mouse trickery from Brighton? What's going on?
I think it's very clever by Graham Potter. Obviously, recalling, sort of pressure us into a deal, and it's a case of whether we do it.
Yeah. But as you edge towards that deal, as I was saying, or as we were saying on last week's show, Tux, Lewis, myself, what is the value? What is the ceiling here? As fans, we want the best players, but I'm old enough, believe it or not, to have known a time when we thought Marcus Evans was the second coming with money, waving 50s at Carrot Road. We splashed the cash on Lee Evans, Tamas Priskin, and I could go on.
Yeah.
And we are now playing Bolton in League One on Saturday. I'm wary, is what I'm saying, of using the cash on the wrong commodity. Is Christian Walton the right goalkeeper? And what's the right price?
2 million for Norris comes to mind.
Fucking hell, yeah. I love David Norris. Absolutely legend. I had so much fun talking football with him. But you could reel off a list of players: Norris, your Lee Martins, your Thomas Priskin, your Lead Boots. Yeah, you literally, and it might. Yeah, I'm more wary of what we do. So as I say, Ben, is it the right goalkeeper, and what's the right price? What do you do?
Right goalkeeper, yeah, he's like I've said before, he's definitely an upgrade on Haladki and Holy. And then it just comes to price. Million probably, I think, would be getting him for. I know the Fisherman came out and said 3 mil for him. I don't think we'll buy him for 3 mil. He's 26. If he was,
yeah, I've heard that as well.
if
3
he
million.
was
That's,
up and coming,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. 3 million is ridiculous. Where has that been said? Where has that been said? Where has that come from?
Well, I saw on Twitter, the Fisherman put it on Twitter that he was told that 3 mil, but I've had it said that 500k is about right, but who knows? It's not up to us.
EJ Norris. Norris is my uncle. He wasn't all that. Hey, EJ, I absolutely tell your uncle. Absolutely love him. Great player. Thomas Kuzak says, Mark Tuxford. Ben, the line is really bad. I'll come back to you if I can. Try and jump out and come back in. It's really crackly. Don't know if it's your end or my end. 3 million, Neil. If that, let's just work on the basis that the Fisherman has been told that information and it's true. £3 million. What are you saying? And this is my best Noel Edmonds impression. Here we go. Neil Mowles. Deal or no deal?
I'd imagine you weren't Noel Edmonds. You were actually wearing a balaclava and a striped top for that price.
Daylight robbery, says Neil Collin. What about you? Come on, talk to us.
Hello, Gov. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Looking forward to hearing what you're going to say. You do more shows than anybody else I know at the moment. You're on here, there, and everywhere, Colin.
Yeah, well, you know, we get about, don't we?
Getting that appearance fee.
No, not
monopoly money for you. Don't pass. Do not pass this show without appearing. Collect £200.
Just a little shout out there for Tux. They were really kind words, and it was lovely to meet him on Saturday in the pub and meet a couple of friends. He's a great lad, really great lad. I'm not just saying that; he's a lovely lad. And
here he is,
love him dearly. Very, very nice bloke. Going back to what you was asking me, Gov. 3 million for Walton, not on your Nelly.
I can't believe it is that.
No, absolutely not. I'm not having that.
I can't believe it because that's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I would say that 3 million would be about, about the ceiling, if you like, for Bonn and Walton, personally. But no, Rich texted me this afternoon and said he'd heard that, and I totally agree with what he said. If that was the case, why wouldn't you go with the Lackey? I mean, at the end of the day, Gov, and Neil and Stephen, he was brought in initially to be our number one goalkeeper, Gov. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. There's question marks over that. There's question marks over whether he was brought in as the number one, or whether he's brought in to compete with somebody as the number one, or if Walton was the number, the desired target all along. Was it an Ashton purchase, not a Cook purchase? Was it a combination? At this football club, at this moment in time, there's so many different question marks coming out of the first summer, if you like. Who knows anymore is the short answer. Who the fuck knows wanted Haladki? Because I'll tell you what I do know. He played a handful of games, made a few mistakes, and was hooked out of the team straight away. That's what we do know. Do you go with Haladki? Do you risk the little play of chances Chris Boyd said earlier on it? I must
admit, Gav, I'd like to pick up on one of the comments earlier in the chat, which was actually quite spot on about don't get me wrong, I'm pro Walton. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. Is he brilliant? Probably not. Is he a very decent first-team goal? Yes. But the person, I can't remember who it was, said something about his distribution, and his distribution isn't awful, but it isn't brilliant. And I must admit, Alanki, the last time he played, which is what Stephen was talking about earlier, about when Walton had COVID. His Lackey's distribution that day, Gov, if you remember, was very, very good that day. And that's something I think Mr. Walton just needs to, like the other players have done, obviously, in the last 10 days or whatever, just needs to brush up a little bit on, I think,
Yeah, the issue with Walton, though, Steve, has been keeping concentration, because it's been little moments in games where it's gone through him, under him, he's dropped it. Arsenal, he comes out and punches it with no one around him. His issue really has been between here, isn't it? Keeping the concentration.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. The trouble is, I think there's the three keepers we've got at the minute. Out of the three of them, I'd lean towards Walton, but I'm still not 100% on Walton. It's, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, his distribution's not brilliant. Halakis wasn't bad. But yeah, like you said, there is a concentration thing with him, it seems. There's a few little lapses, and those are the things, especially in the situation that we're in now. We're not very comfortable.
No.
The odd drop point is really going to make a difference where we are in the table now. And that could be a big difference.
Stephen, but as regards as a goalkeeper, like commanding his 6-yard and what have you, very, very decent goalkeeper.
He's the best one we've got for that.
Yeah, more than adequate for in this league. Than adequate.
For sure. Yeah. Because we've got, from what I saw in Halaki, there's no command there.
No, we've got Ashley Bell, not a chance. Anything over 7. Sorry, Nick Colin. Not Ashley Bell, not a chance. Anything over 750 would be insane. He's only got another 6 months on his contract at Brighton. The good doctor, 1 million tops, decent deal all round. Chris Boyd, you pay over the odds to sign permanent in January window. Walton goes on a free in the summer. Brighton needs to cash in now. Paul Chapman shouldn't pay more than $500,000 up front. I did hear that bond was 3 million. Again, I'd be saying, don't phone us, we'll phone you. He's not worth 3 million. Rob Holmes, 3 million, no way. Stick with Haladki until summer and then review if needed. Andy Barrell, Brighton are playing poker if that's 3 million, call their bluff. And Simon Harris, Walton is commanding the box. Trust him, distribution can be improved. Yeah, Walton's distribution is slow. I mean, I remember Paul Cook's last game, he was getting so angry with how slow Cookie Walton was releasing it. Okay, let's play with the 3 million here.
I know in the North Stand, the fans at times get a bit restless with how much time Walton takes. It's just pedestrian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, but he has improved.
Absolutely spot on, Neil. Absolutely spot on, Neil.
So let's play with the 3 million. Neil, what if it came out 1.5 now, 1.5 upon promotion? Would that be a better deal for you?
It makes more sense for us, but yeah, it's still too much for him. But can you really? If you get promotion, you're just going with one, so you're getting money anyway for going up. It'll cover it. It'll be fine. But obviously, if you don't, it's money wasted, isn't it?
Is it 3 million that you object to, as in like that's just too much, regardless of how you stack it, how you install it, how it's bonus clause, whatever? 3 million, that's ridiculously just no. Or is it the fact you don't want to pay 3 million necessarily, as a lump sum without the added clauses of one upon promotion or one upon 50 appearances or whatever it might be? What is it that's really nagging you about that fee?
It's easy to get caught up in the fact that you just think, oh, it's 1.5 million. Yeah, that's all right. And we'll just give them a little bit of money in X amount of time. And yeah, that 1.5 million doesn't sound too bad. But when you actually add it all up and considering you're paying 3 million for a player who's decent at what he does, but not a world beater, do we really want to be wasting our money like that?
Well, exactly. Yeah. But Brighton hold all the cards here, Steve, as being shown by the fact they're saying, fine, you don't want to pay 3, 1, 4, whatever it might be. See you back at Brighton next Monday. Question.
And that's the
have our new coaches got ideas of their own? Do they have a network of players they know of?
I would have thought so. I mean, McKennan's come from Man United, where they've probably got about 8 million goalkeepers, 12 million defending. How these top clubs have as many players as they possibly can. Is it vital though? I mean, it's a really interesting one. We've got Paul Bewley said we sold Bart for $1 million. He was far better than Walton. Rob Holmes always inflated prices in January due to panic buying. The Tucks, $3 million in League One for any player is beyond ludicrous. Bod the Nod is back in the room. Bod, we have missed you. I hope you are well. Hi, lads. I do think Walton gives confidence to our backline, unlike Hladky, but we should not be held to ransom for any player. Ashton will do what's right. Josh, Ashton will do what's right. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I trust the decision so far, and like most people, I said I question him on this management choice, and he's done well there. $3 million for Walton, no, thank you. He's a good keeper, but he's not $3 million worthy. If he was $3 million worthy, he'd be in the Championship, surely. I
still can't get over that price, Josh. I can't, in my mind, imagine how that conversation goes. Hello, this is Mark Ashton. I want to buy Christian Walton. He's $3 million. In my mind, I've got Ashton literally on the floor laughing, thinking he's being done up, but because that's fucking ridiculous.
Yep, it is. No, I think Matt put it in the chat, didn't he? 500k to mil is perfect for him. If they want more than that, then I think you just leave it and go for Hladky, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, Neil, can't even put into words a response that if I was Mark Ashton on the phone, what I would say. Like, I literally would just put the phone down, thinking I've got the wrong number or something. To help me here, what would you say back if that was actually the conversation, the way it's gone?
The line's breaking up. I'm sure I heard you say 3 million.
Yeah. Colin, it's like crazy money, is it not, for any player in League One?
Yes, it is, and I personally think these Premier League clubs, they treat money these days. I mean, they've got so much of it from when they get promoted and all these kind of things, like the Brightons and the Villas. And the Norwiches of this world, they leave the Championship, they go into the Premier League, and then all of a sudden they get 165, whatever it is, 170 million just bung throughout.
Yeah.
And once they're in there, like Brighton have been there a couple of 3 years, and they've accumulated that over 2 or 3 years, it's even worse. They treat clubs with contempt. In other words, they're treating, Brighton, for God's sake, are treating Ipswich Town. I mean, I can remember the days when they wouldn't even be in the same sentence as us, but now treating us, because we're in the first division, they're treating us like every other club who's down there with contempt, and they treat money like peanuts, as if it's peanuts, and they find these figures, like, just pluck it out of the air and say, if you want him, you give us 3 million. I wouldn't say 3, but you give us like 2.5 million or whatever, 1.5 million or 2 million or whatever, and I just find it very, very sad, Martin, that these clubs, so-called Premier League clubs, treat Championship and First Division clubs like they do, and I find it very sad.
We have to stress, obviously, that we don't know it's 3 million. It's something that's
we don't.
Rumoured and spoken about between fans. It's just the price that's been said about. We don't know for sure that is. We could be well out. It could be $1 million. It could be $500,000. But that's the fee that's currently being whispered, if you like. So it's a point to start the conversation. Trevor Ramos, as he just asked, where's the $3 million come from?
Would you really drag him back early in order to strangle 500 grand out of us? That is pennies to them. Why would they do that?
I don't know. It could be a Kimball case of they've got an evaluation, we've got an evaluation, we're not meeting it. So they're trying to force that hand. They're trying to call that bluff. They're trying to press the issue, if you like, because while he's playing games, such as the Saturday just gone, you can sort of every 3 days come back with the offer. You can sort of take it slowly, if you like.
Or is it more the fact, as someone said in the comments, that he's on Premiership wages? They want to get it off the bill, so the sooner they can sell him, the better.
Possibly. What I would say, though, Steve, is normally when Town miss out on a player, the fan base reacts off the charts. We've missed out on so-and-so, or we've sold so-and-so, and rightfully so in a lot of cases. This is one of the instances where if the football club come out and said we're not pursuing Christian Wharton at this time due to an outrageous evaluation, the fan base actually would say, "Fucking spot on. We're not following that line of inquiry." Like, this is the one chance where the football club could actually come out as a good guy in a transfer negotiation.
Yeah, I think so. Because, like you said as well, Colin, the Premier League clubs, they can hold these other teams to ransom now. They can do extortionate amounts just so they can get away with it. And I think in years gone by, he might have kicked off, but at the end of the day, I think we're in a position now. If we do miss out, if he does go back, we do miss out on him. We've got Halaki to the end of the season. We can always get someone at the end of the season as well. We've got the financial ability to, we're in the position to now, to attract other players and better players. So if we do miss out on him, we could well get someone in of equal or better stature. Who knows?
Absolutely. Josh, I'm going to have to let you go because I'm getting some feedback from your line. So when people speak, if you listen, we're getting some comeback. Or is it stopped now? No, there it is. Can you hear it?
A little bit.
Yeah. So if you can come back in, or if you could change something, because I'm hearing myself twice and I can hardly stand myself once, let alone twice. But come back in if you can. Go on, Colin.
Yeah, I was just going to pick up on what Kev Sherwood put there. I think that's a great comment there. A great about many clubs are strapped for cash. Not many will make an offer. Circa 1.2 million. Hold our nerve, and there's no doubt about it. Mark Ashton will hold his nerve. There's no doubt about that.
Regards to the fee, we know that there's negotiations going on for Christian Wharton, but we'll park that one there for the time being. Josh has gone and come back, and he's lost his beard, ladies and gentlemen. Like, literally, he left the screen, came back, and now he looks a totally different man. Oh wait, no, that's Ben. Sorry, Ben, how are you? Welcome back. There he is. Moving it on, right to Sam Morsy. Transformation under McKenna. We've got a couple of things I want to show you, and then we'll discuss Sam Morsy. Against Gillingham, 1 assist, 3 key passes, 94% accuracy, 111 touches. And then we've got this after the game, which I'm going to play you because I absolutely love to see this from my manager and my captain. Let's just give this a watch. Ready? So after we've beaten Gillingham, and they are still discussing tactics, which, look at that. That's a picture and a half, that is. Love that. So as they're heading over to the away fans, they are discussing tactics, discussing shape. Sam Morsy, Ben, under McKenna. Talk to me about the transformation, because this is a different player I'm watching.
It's a completely different player to what we saw under Cook. I think the basic thing is just a simple thing. He swapped the roles of Evans and Morsy.
Oh,
mine for me, it's almost. I wouldn't say there's a massive. Well, of the late displays we got from him under Cook, there's a massive transformation. But for the Morsy we got at the start, I would say he's sort of picked up from them.
Well,
this player has always been in there. He just, of late, he hasn't shown it.
Well, I want to share a heat map with you of Sam Morsy. This is from SofaScore. Sam Morsy against Gillingham, right? So the left-hand side is the goal we're attacking. As you can see, he's got a lot more positional play in the opposition's half. If you take a look at Sam Morsy against, for example, Charlton, right? Compare that, or Wigan even. The two are strikingly dissimilar because you've got a player there, Neil, that's barely crossed the halfway line. Whereas against Gillingham, he's barely in his own half.
Did I hear right that he sees Evans as the deeper man and he's letting Morsy head further up the pitch?
But did you think there was a player in there that could do that? Could do what he's been doing? Because what he's been doing, Colin, you were there on Saturday, is nothing short than remarkable. He's become almost the driving force of the football team.
Morsy has just been an absolute. I mean, I know we say it about Kieran, but Morsy's been an absolute breath of fresh air this last 2 games. And to be fair, and I've been like one or two others on here, I've been a bit of a critic of Evans as well. Evans has been fantastic the last couple of 3 games, and Morsy even more so. I'll tell you what, you know, this transformation, this little switch, if you like, of a couple of players here and there, you know, it's just been absolutely a sensation, really. And Morsy, well, he's on Saturday. I've got to say, on Saturday, apart from Maluko, he was nearly bordering on a 10.
Yeah,
he was that good. He literally was. I think if he'd actually, and it was easier to score than miss when he did hit the bar. I honestly think if he'd have scored, he might have got a 10 on the paper today. He might have done. And I don't think many people could have disagreed with that.
98 out of 104 accurate passes, Josh. 94% rate, you know, in that category. Just phenomenal display on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's showing his championship quality now, isn't he? Showing the player that Middlesbrough didn't want to get rid of now under McKenna.
I think also, Josh, I think he's got a manager, like I tried to say the other day, he's got a manager who I'm sure at the training ground, in the dressing room, and when I say the dressing room, I mean the dressing rooms at the training ground, the dressing rooms before and at half time at matches. I think he's got a manager who cares, a manager who wants to love you, a manager who wants to put his arm around you, and that makes a lot of difference from a person who's, I could only imagine if he's shouting his head off most of the time. Yeah,
I wish that was I almost wish that picture, Neil, of Morsy and McKenna at the end of the video was a picture, because I would almost, if this is me now, and I don't buy shit, I'd be tempted to buy that as a wall frame, like Morsy and McKenna with the away fans, because that was a quality picture at the end there, wasn't it? With your manager and your captain in sync. And there's always a manager in a player's journey where they always come out and say that they turned me around. They gave me new methods. They gave me new ways of thinking, new ways of working, new training, new sports science, whatever it might be. I think something in the chat is just, Chris Boyd. Morsy's worked on the Warnock, then Cook. McKenna will be their new modern thinking to him, and it's revived him, not the only player in that situation. Is this the moment that Morsy suddenly gets the extra 10, 20, 30% he'd been missing? Because I never saw him as this type of player. I'll be honest.
I had say he played cup games against who we consider lesser opposition, and he does pick up the ball, he drives, so he is more than just that deep playing midfielder. I think he was always wasted whenever we decided you're sitting in front of the back four, because he's got far more to him than that. So I'm glad he's being allowed to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else that came up on yesterday's show was Bursett Selena, Matt Penny, left wing back situation. I want to share another couple of screenshots with you and get your thoughts on this, Steve. So I said yesterday, in a 3-5-2, forget the 3-5-2 aspect of it. With Matt Penny, you could quite easily, in my world, take him out, put Bursett Selena in there, get somebody who's better going forward, and not necessarily be that worried in defending, right? Well, I want to sort of show you, if you like, Penny's heat map, if I can do, from Gillingham, and then I will come back to you on that point, because the fisherman wasn't having any of it. He wasn't impressed. He thought it was the wrong move to make. Well, he just thought I was being absolutely stupid, to tell you the truth. But sadly, no one can see it because the show broke, and nobody can go past you singing, Colin. I've now had people I've had tell me your singing voice is perfect, by the way. Good on you. But here it is, Matt Penny. Right. So I was just trying to find it. As you can tell, I was buying time there. Here it is. There we go. There we go. Can you see it? Matt Penny. So as you can see, he spent majority of his time where, Mr. Stephen Thomson?
Higher up the pitch.
Yeah, man,
Higher
exactly.
up the pitch.
Not even
Yeah,
in his own half.
No, he's rare. He's strong. His most tracked position was obviously just after the halfway line, again, courtesy of Sofa score.
Mm-hmm.
So
But isn't this down to the fact that we had a very high % of the possession?
we do.
And when he's brought into the game, it's normally with him in their half. So it stands out for a reason why it looked like that. But if you're under the cosh most of the game, that's not going to be the case.
But then if you were going into a stronger game, let's say Wednesday, for example, Steve, you wouldn't necessarily play a winger out of position per se. But looking at that heat map and then looking at good old Bursant's heat map versus Crew, what you'll see is actually, in reality, and maybe I'm trying to, flog a dead tactic here, and you just ain't going to take it. But Selena's heat map there, Steve and Neil, arguably, with us attacking the right-hand side, is almost very similar, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it looks like on that heat map, he's allergic to going backwards.
But that's fine, is it not? When you've got Luke Wolfenden, George Edmondson, Janai Danassian, who also is limited, by the way, Lee Evans screening the back three. Have you not got the handbrake enough to say, look, we're paying Selena an awful lot of money. He's a very good player at this level, Steve. I want him on the pitch to hurt Gillingham, Accrington Stanley, MK Dons. I want him on the pitch hurting, influencing things.
Yeah, we've seen what he can do as well. Yeah, it's not the first time he's been here. We've seen 2 seasons he's been here now. Well, 1 and a bit. What he can do. I want him now. I want him scoring goals.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's all I want Selena to do is just score goals.
I'll tell you what I will show you, just because I've got it, is Wes Burns' heat map. Are you ready for this one, Josh, right? Wes Burns played right wing back on Saturday, correct?
Yep, correct.
Right. You want allergic to going backwards. Look at that for a heat map.
Wow.
The bloke has barely spent any time in his own half.
Yeah,
but that's where my point still stands.
We
had
against Gillingham.
So much possession.
Okay, all right. Let's look at his heat map versus Wickham. There he spent a lot more time in his own half. You're correctly right. You're right there. Look, so it does matter who you play against, but that's football, isn't it? And isn't it about time, Josh, that we saw a manager who can adapt, who does go in with different tools, different ways of hurting teams, different weapons, different defensive strategies?
Oh, 100%. How many times? Yeah. It's about time we had a manager that can do that. And I think we're slowly seeing that with McKenna, and I think you will see it eventually the more games he has.
Absolutely.
I know there are managers out there that would say if we press forward and if a player of ours is higher up the pitch, they've got to worry about him. Whereas if he's sitting back with the other 3 that are back there, then we encourage them to be onto us. So I see your thinking, Martin. If we had Selena up there causing them trouble, that's something else for them to worry about.
Yeah, and you go from a traditional 3-5-2 to more of a 6. Let's be honest. It's more of this, or it's a you're not playing him as a traditional wing back who has to come round and cover, who has to have a defensive head on, and as you can see from the heat maps there, Ben, Saturday or games like Saturday are perfect for players like Edwards, Selena, and co, who don't have to defend, and your job is to influence, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you've got the cover of Edmondson, Wolf, and JD, then you can afford to play your Selenas, your Edwards, your Burns, and that way that gives us the chance to push up a lot more, which is what we've done against Gillingham on Saturday, which is where our possession was coming from.
And you're absolutely. Oh, yeah, and what people say about it, like Lee Anderson, we had a ridiculous amount of possession, I think he said, or something on those lines. Won't have that every week. 75%. You're absolutely right. Simon Harris, the gaffer would never consider Edwards or Selena at left wing back. That is not reasonable as they drift. Edwards can drift into the National League on loan. That's a bit harsh. I think he's a bit better than the National League. Mark Tuxford, but if we're playing Selena at left wing back,
we haven't seen Edwards enough though. That's the problem. You can't just make it on that comment because we haven't seen Edwards enough. We haven't seen him for a 490.
Well, he has lacked that final ball, though, hasn't he, Steve?
Yeah, we've said this before, hasn't he? You know, it was very much of a sort of. I think I've compared him before to Keenan Bennett. I mean, I think I rate him better than Keenan Bennett, but all the flair is there and all the intention is there. He's just lacking that final. If he gets one goal, I think it will change it, and I think he will then open the gates. But there's just that final ball. It concerns me because he's running and he runs himself into danger.
When you're out there and pretty much the main thing you're being asked to do is to deliver a great ball into the box, Edwards isn't going to do that.
No, I don't think he is. And I do think what Harry Butcher says in the chat about Aluko and Selena fighting for the same spot is correct. I'm just looking at it from a how do I get my best players on the football pitch? Because Selena can't hurt players on the bench or hurt teams on the bench. Edwards, or if he's one of your better players, if you class him as such, can't hurt teams from the bench. If I'm McKenna, this is not every week, and this is what we've got to get into a mindset of, Colin, about you're not an every week team now. That the days of maybe settled lineups have gone. You've got to approach as he said himself. I think actually I've got a bit of a. He says here. Let me just read you something that Kieran McKenna actually said himself. It's certainly a good base to build on, but this weekend's game will be a different challenge. There was a lot of man-to-man marking at Gillingham, which opens up certain spaces and avenues, but Bolton's a new game, so we needed to prepare well for that and show the attitude that we did at the weekend.
Do you know what, Gov? You absolutely read my mind. That's what I was going to bring up with you, actually, and what he said about that. And that is fantastic. When the game is probably ain't even hardly finished, you're probably starting thinking that on 80 minutes. No, honestly, 4-0, or whenever we scored the fourth goal, probably thinking Bolton, right, get on it. When he was walking off talking to Morsy, he was probably thinking of Bolton as well. And I'll tell you what, I love the bloke. I'll tell you, I absolutely love him because I'll tell you, he's on it. He's thinking all the time, like you said earlier on, Martin. And I'll tell you what, he is absolutely on this. And I would presume today he's probably gone in. He's had the boy Pert in there with him today. Knowing them too, they've probably had a couple of hours. They're probably, but the players probably haven't been in maybe until lunchtime or something like that today. They probably went in his office. They probably got the videos out. Bolton 5-2 down here. They've watched it already. I know. Apparently he's watched every game since he's been there. He's watched every game Ipswich have played this season, which again is like underlining what a measured tactician he absolutely is. And another thing I'd like to say about Saturday is, I mean, anybody who's been to the Reebok as it used to be, Macron, I think they call it now, whatever they call it now.
University of Bolton Stadium.
Oh, sorry, University of Bolton Stadium. Change again. Anyway, at Bolton's ground on Saturday, anybody who's been there, I've been there a couple of times, would know it is quite, if I can remember right, it's quite a big pitch there, and Man City is quite a wide pitch, and I think he'll take all that into consideration, and I think actually, I hope I'm proved right. I think actually that might play into our hands because how we played on Saturday, gentlemen. If that is the case and they haven't pulled it in a bit, that will really, really suit us. Because we was, like I said yesterday, we was pulling Gillingham left, right, pulling them all over the place, left, right, and centre. And I think Kieran will look into all of that and explain that. Also, another thing I'd like to say, Gav, I sent you a picture, didn't I, of a certain paper today. I reckon a certain journalist must be watching the Great Talking Town. There's a certain person but I've been hugely impressed by Mr. McKenna. His calm, measured, intelligent personality comes across so well. I'm sure it works with the players too. I know a certain person who said a similar thing. Perhaps he watches Taunton Town, Gov.
Maybe so. Well, it's the place to be because you get your information
Absolutely.
for tomorrow. Today we've got Chris Boyd. Where does Piggott fit in? He looked lively with those groups on Saturday, albeit the game was done when he came on. Does he look for another club in this when they get the game? Possibly so, Chris. I'll put that to the lads on Wednesday, Mr. Mark Tuxford and TJ, because that'll be an interesting one if we line up ourselves for Bolton. Before you go, boys, the Prediction League is back. That's right. It's had its Christmas hiatus. Oh, hang on. I've just heard the ding dong of an intro. Somebody's coming in. It's the fisherman from the banks. Here he is.
Hello, chaps. How you doing? All right?
Mike, how you doing?
Very well, thank
Yeah,
you.
good,
Very
mate.
well. I was just about to round the show off, and suddenly I heard the boop, which tells me someone's coming to come in, and it's you. What's on your mind? Hang on, wait. Before you go any further, who the fuck has told you 3 million for Christian Walton? What's all that about?
Well, I have my tomato ketchup sauces. Don't you worry about that.
It's got to be the biggest wind up in the world. 3 million.
Look. All I can say is
That's $3.
I know. All I can say. I can't say too much because obviously, but anyway, yeah. Look.
Was it Potter himself? Was it Potter himself?
No, but that was what he was. That was what he was told by someone that works at Brighton. So I don't know. I mean, that might be all bullshit. I don't know. But I'm telling you what I'm told. I don't know. I'm just relaying the message. 3 million for Bolton, get in the bin. Not in a million years.
So when we sign him for 250,000, we'll come straight back to you. Don't worry.
Right, I know you will. Yeah.
I've got you pegged, son. Look, no one saw us go. Have a conversation yesterday. It's a sad moment, isn't it?
What, the Selena Twilight Zone moment? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So I thought I'd bring it back up again, particularly as I saw the penny heat map. I know that's why you're here.
Me and Cruncher were having a right debate about it earlier. We were laughing.
Cruncher, what's he know? What he knows? You can write back a postage stamp and then put your name and address.
We were laughing. I ain't gonna lie. Look, there's no way in a million years Selena is a left wing back, and he's more of an Aluko role. That's where you're looking, aren't you, for both them two players?
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? That's where you don't put Selena. Look, we've been how long have we been saying that we want to be putting round pegs in round holes? With Selena, you're putting him left wing back. You're putting a triangle in a circle, aren't you? Really? It's it's not going to happen. I don't care what bloody stats say or whatever heat map or whatever it is. The reality is that's never going to happen. But look, if we were playing 4-3-3, I'd put, yes, you could put him on that forward left role, but left wing backs do need to get back. Selena's never happening, is he? He's never going to get back and defend like
I'm not asking him to.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea, is that you can't go all that attack. We're not playing Joe Rule tactics here, are we? We're
who knows?
We're progressing. We've had 2 clean sheets now. We've won 2 games. I'm absolutely loving this manager. I really am. I really love the way he conducts himself, the way he styles himself. He's quiet on the sidelines. He's a thinking manager rather than a gobby one. And I just think there's, I still think the playoffs are well within our reach. And, like I said, and if we don't get Walton, so what? We've got a lad kid.
Mike, can I just cut in a sec? Matt Phillips texted me today. Matt Phillips texted me today, and he made a great point. He said to me today, "I think we've struck gold, Colin," and I would never ever disagree with that.
No,
I think we have, Mike.
Yeah. I do. Look, I was a great Cook fan. I wanted him, but I wanted the team around him. Now, the reality is, hasn't worked out. He's gone. He's come out with so many different excuses and PR stuff for losing games or whatever. McKenna's just a breath of fresh air. I just think he's just everything that we want. I don't know. Everything's professional. The ownership's professional. The coach is professional. The management's professional. When we had Fanny Jeffers, do you know what I mean? Roberts. I mean, realistically, what are they offering? Do you know what I mean?
Okay. All right, but as you just said, you did start off with a Cook fan, and that quickly soured. So hopefully your affinity to McKenna doesn't sour as quickly as my milk in the fridge.
No, look, he's going to lose the odd. He's going to lose a game. Oh, I hope he doesn't. But if he does lose a game, it's not. I just feel that if we do lose, we won't be losing with our tail between the legs. We'll be losing, because the team was better than us on the day.
All right. Kev Sherwood asks, "Have you caught any fish cakes for Cruncher, Mike?"
Do you know what, lads? I'm down here doing some work on the lake, and I'm not actually. I haven't even got my fishing rods out. I'm literally just camping tonight.
Oh, very nice. Under stars.
I wish.
Mike.
No, I'm in my bivvy. Yes, buddy.
Right. I'm glad you ain't got your rod out.
Sorry, mate. It's more of a stump these days than a rod, mate. I wouldn't worry about that.
That is beautiful. We'll close the show there. Absolutely lovely. It's getting too much now, boys.
Blue. Jesus.
I mean, literally, we support the Super Blues. Let's not make it blue. But no, huge thank you to Colin, Mike, Josh, and Ben. Before we go, we do have. I mean, fuck me, boys. I don't want my YouTube channel cancelled. Do you know what I mean? The prediction league is up and running. I was going to ask them, but as they were getting smutty, I won't. The prediction league. Boys, tell me what you're going for. Colchester versus Barrow. What are we saying for that one, Neil?
It's got to be Colchester, isn't it?
By what score? What's the score going to be?
I'm going to go 2-1 Colchester.
2-1 Colchester. Barrow played us off the park, Steve.
No, I think I've already filled mine in. I think I put 2-1 Colchester.
You did. All right. We're going to go for the worst team in the world versus Everton. Norwich, Steve. Place where you have to go. Norwich versus Everton. What are you saying about that one?
Living in Norwich is bad enough. I think I put 3-0 Everton.
3
or maybe it was either 3-0 or 3-1 Everton. Can't remember.
Neil, what are you saying?
That's
about
obviously under the impression that Norwich could actually score a goal in the league.
Well, they've got West Ham tomorrow, which, by the way, we'll get to the prediction league table in a second. But the last time we did this was before Christmas. Then it got to silly season with postponements, blah blah blah. So Norwich's rearranged game is tomorrow. I will count those points and add them onto the table for next week. But Colchester's has been removed from the slate as it's been postponed and then rearranged for all the way in February. And if I'm honest, guys, I'm going to fucking forget I even asked you the question about it. So I'm going to ask you twice. So forget Colchester, but Norwich versus West Ham will be added tomorrow. So with that in mind, Neil, Norwich playing tomorrow night against West Ham. Everton versus the worst team in the world. What do you think that's going to be?
It's got to be an Everton win, hasn't it? And I think Everton like to concede goals, though. So maybe 3-1.
Absolutely. Irv says, I've missed it again. Irv, 8:30 every Monday. Come on. Get subscribe, tap the notification bell, and you'll never miss us again, Irv. You will be there every time. We miss you. We love you. This is Suffolk's not finest referee, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man that should be refereeing every single cup final. Greatest referee in Suffolk. Full stop. Mark Tuxford 2-2. Barrow wins, says Turbo. 2-1 says EJ. Dr. Good Doctor. Barrow scoring for fun. We've got Trevor Amos. Carry on fishing. It certainly was carry on fishing. Oi, Tux. I saved many tokens from Shreddies for my badges. Good for you, Mike. Good for you. He's been shopping. Irv, get on the old internet. Yeah, get the old delivery saver. Get it delivered to your door. And you can catch talk in town. Get the priorities straight. What does fuel Suffolk's finest referee, do you think, Neil? What do you think Irv's got on his shopping?
Well, as you disliked it the other day, I've got to say Marmite.
Oh. Steve, you a Marmite fan?
I do like a bit of Marmite.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, a bit of Marmite. Nice bit
apparently,
of toast.
Apparently, does it help in fighting dementia? I forget. Something like that.
You obviously haven't had any.
That's a terrible joke from that. Jesus Christ.
What? I'm being serious. It does help fight something. I can't remember what it was. I think it might be dementia.
It's obviously not.
Nick Miller's eating Marmite now. Away day beers.
Good man.
Good Doctor. We are
Lovely.
Millwall from the den. Well done, mate. I'm proud of you. Well done for finding the keyboard. Let us know how let us know how Bart's doing. How is Bart doing? We miss him. We
Send
miss
him
him
back. I miss him.
We do miss him, yeah. Right. Let's end the show there on a high note. So we are back. Well, not really a high note, is it? We miss Bart. Please bring him home. AD loves. I mean, I'm friends with Irv on Facebook, and he has some really interesting and sometimes good dinner concoctions. So tonight, I'm looking forward to seeing his curry with salad and avocado. When I'm sitting down to think about my dinner, Neil, I've got to be honest, I don't think about putting avocado and salad with my curry. Chips, maybe. Rice, definitely. Salad and avocado as well? Is that a food combination you're going for there, Mr. Mowles?
It's not something I would choose, but I would also say my choices probably aren't always the best.
That's true. Safety Guy says it fights dementia, as you always remember how fucking horrible it is. Fair point, Safety. Fair point. It is really bad. Dr. Got 10 million for Jed Wallace from Ipswich fans. Now I'm all right, thanks. I'm really good. The good doctor. Holy Bart exchange makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. We are back on Wednesday, 8:30. Mark Tuxford, TJ, myself here to preview Bolton. Another big game. Looking forward to it. But for tonight, he has been Mr. Positivity, Neil Mowles. He has been the aficionado, Stephen Thomson. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really, really does help us in everything. But until Wednesday, with love, the Prediction League table. Sorry, I nearly forgot that. Currently, this is the scores on the doors. Mike Woods leads it. Stephen Davis, Robert Smith, Ben Moore, and then Trevor. No real movement this week apart from Vicky Henderson. And I think it was... somebody else did move, but I can't remember who they were. But you moved. Whoever you are, you moved up the table. Congratulations. And at the bottom is still little Matt Phillips. There he is, look. Oh, look.
Hey.
Down the bottom somewhere with 3 points. Congratulations, Matt. It's all about taking part. That's what matters. Right, we're done. We're dusted. Don't forget YouTube's Ko-Fi to support us. But until Wednesday, with love, with care.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.